This is the last part of Lake Worth. I'm a bit south of the port of Palm Beach, and this is about the last part of the waterway that's really wide enough to run the boat on autopilot until I get to Biscayne Bay. I put the bimini tops down to go underneath this low bridge, but it turns out I really didn't have to put them down. I still have a couple of feet between the highest I could reach and the underside of the bridge. These barges are doing some sort of work on the bridge, and there's an awful lot of equipment and quite a few barges here. So now that I'm through there, I can put the bimini tops back up and get my shade back. And now, once again, I have it made in the shade as the autopilot drives me the last bit of the waterway where I can really use it. Oh yeah, I forgot, I slowed down for going underneath that bridge, so I had to come back to the helm, speed up, set a couple little autopilot adjustments. Once I've got the boat going in the speed and the direction that I want it to, I can come back forward and relax for a while. It's really nice, but the biggest job is to not fall asleep. I just have to constantly be aware of any traffic around me, or now I'm in the narrow part of the waterway, and this particular bridge in Boca Raton would have to open to let me underneath, but it was stuck open while they were doing some construction work to it. And I'm driving this next long stretch after here because there's a lot of traffic and the waterway is narrow. This guy had a nice yacht. I would have traded boats with him, but somehow I figured he probably wasn't that interested in that deal. This is south of Delray Beach before Boca Raton. It's a little town called Highland Beach. And it's just between the Intercoastal Waterway and A1A. That guy had his own little harbor with his boat just sheltered by a bit of seawall off the Intercoastal Waterway. And this house has actually a little boathouse where you can drive a boat into that little building there. And I can see a boat in there on lifts that pick it out of the water once it's in the building. This is an even lower bridge. These get kind of exciting. This one I was able to reach up and touch the underside of the bridge as I went through. There's maybe a foot, probably a little less than a foot, between the underside of the bridge and the bimini tops. And this bridge is really just as low, but it's even more exciting because these three other boats all decided that they wanted to go through the bridge at the same time I did. Hi there. This is in Fort Lauderdale. That is the Sunrise Boulevard Bridge. I had come to a stop to wait for this guy to go through the bridge and didn't understand at first why he was going so slow coming out of the bridge, but he wanted to make a turn into what can only be described as a parking lot for mega yachts. The size and number of those things is amazing. These condos are a blast from the past with their very dated negative peak roof, which I'm sure was cool when they were built. So this is that bay just north of Port Everglades. And I think I'm anchored. I dropped the anchor 4 times before I got it to set. And it's a pretty crowded anchorage. I'm not very far from that guy or that guy. I tried to anchor behind everyone, so if I do drag anchor, I'm not gonna drag into another boat. But I'm not that far from the seawall there or that little bridge. It's going to be hard to set an anchor alarm and have it go off before I hit something. But I'll try. Huh. There's Pier 66. Still cool after all these years. The name of this little anchorage is Lake Sylvia. I heard about it from Sailing Lady K, so thanks for the tip. It's just north of Port Everglades off the ICW. It's just past sunset, and this house every night on a timer apparently has these little flaming torches or whatever they are come on just at sunset, and they stay on for maybe 20 minutes, a half an hour, and then all seem to shut off always the same time every night. I saw this when I was going down to Biscayne Bay and also on the way back home. I'm glad I didn't miss the show. So this is the next morning, and I'm driving past Port Everglades. This tugboat is pushing that ship up against the dock. And as I drive behind it, his prop wash is actually shoving my boat across the other side of the channel. So I have to steer quite a bit to compensate for it. You can actually see some disturbed water there behind the tugboat. Convey Point. I'm getting to the north end of Biscayne Bay now, and parts of the waterway get a bit wider here. This guy was nice. He actually slowed down when I went past, but not everybody does. Here I'm in a much more open part of the bay. This is south of the Rickenbacker Causeway, the last causeway or bridge that you go underneath before you're in the open part of Biscayne Bay. And this is called Stiltsville. These houses were built way back in the 40s or 50s, I think, on stilts, on very shallow reefs that are just south of South Beach and Key Biscayne. Here is a shot of Key Biscayne and South Beach, and coming around is a nice shot of the city of Miami, which kind of dominates the landscape of Biscayne Bay. You see it wherever you are in the bay. And so this is the Sirius satellite weather overlay on my GPS chart plotter. Okay, so all of this green mass here is clouds and storms. And the yellow is worse, and the red is worse than that. So this is working pretty good. I can see the line of storms. I wish it had a loop where it would show me which way it's traveling. But I suppose if you watched it long enough, you could figure that out. And it's clear behind the storm. So that is my chart plotter with the Sirius satellite weather overlay. So that's where I'd be right now if I'd gone across. Practicing making good decisions. I like it. It's pretty nice here now, but I'm sure that line of storms will get here. I got the boat hunkered down. So if I had gone when I was supposed to pick up Mimi, I would have been in that right now. And at the moment there's thunderstorms all around me, but I'm in the one clear spot. So I'm just here finishing breakfast and watching the rain. And when it passes, I go across, pick up Mimi, and hopefully good weather the rest of the day. But that is totally nuts. The island's over there, you can't even see it. I'm only a couple hundred yards from shore, and there's whitecaps breaking out here already. Crazy. This is yesterday all over again. And that's what I'd be out in if I'd gone to Convoy Point. And here it is about 2 hours later. It's sunny. I had a nice sunny, calm trip across the bay, and I'm pulling up at the gas dock at Convoy Point. That's Mimi on the dock. I bring the boat to a stop at the gas dock, toss Mimi a rope. So she's got the bow of the boat and is tying it up at the moment. And this rope is for securing the stern. I jump onto the dock, grab the rope, pull the boat into the dock, and tie the rope off on the cleat. So people here are very generous. That was the volume of their music, the way I heard it on my boat, from somebody else's boat quite a ways away. I've cut the volume on their music because I don't want YouTube to say that I'm infringing anybody's copyright. This is Elliott Key. It's near the north end of Elliott Key, if you're familiar with the area, near a place called University Dock. And there's a little beach in this little bay just north of the dock. And quite a few boats are anchored here. A lot of people are spending time in the water. A few people set up these little shade canopies in the water. The real party is out at this sandbar at the channel between Elliott Key and Sands Key. It's very shallow at the sandbar, so if you've got a smaller boat, it's easy to pull up and drop anchor and just sort of sit in the shallow water or set up a lawn chair in the water. My boat was a little bit big so for going in there, but this little bay with the little beach next to University Dock is very nice. And the adventure begins.